Srinivas Kupa is our Chief Strategy Officer. I'm Dominic Gallello. I'm the CEO of the company. And so I'm just going to take you through just a little introduction to the company. I'll take the KPI stuff, which is pretty new. And then finally, we'll get into manufacturing execution, if that's okay. Okay? Enjoy your lunch, please. Enjoy your lunch. Okay, so in terms of, first of all, I'll do a really quick introduction. So Symphony, it's a group of actually AI-based companies. Actually, we're about 3,000 employees. We're about $400 million in revenue, and we're only 5.5 years old, right? So pretty fast growth. Of course, there was acquisitions involved, but it's a very large organization, and of course we're based all over the world. What we focus on in our industrial division is three things. You know, the assets. So we bought a company that's a 56-year-old vibration condition monitoring company. We monitor about 120,000 machines all over the world. We moved it into AI, multivariate analysis. The second area, and some of the customers that we have, you can see we have customers all over the world. We actually started with the US Navy, the aircraft carrier fleet. I still have a team that actually is security clearance, and they go on all the cruises and all of those types of things, so it's a great team. The next area is, you know, on the process side, so that's what we'll talk about today, kind of connecting level 1 to level 4, you know, all of those types of things, low code, but it really is, we've had a platform for quite a while, and you could see our customers. You know, we have customers that process 6 million executions and workflows a month. They're tripling that. We have another customer that processes 25 billion data points. You'll see that in a second. So it's really enterprise level of manufacturing execution. Again, batch type operations. And then finally, people, you know, the hot topic you can see in the bottom of the screen, the glasses, right, the smart glasses. Actually, the truth is that's how we started. About 5% of our customers use glasses, right? It's typically ATEX-rated phones and tablets, and as one of our Japanese customers said, you get yoifune, which is you get seasick if you wear the headset too long. So it really is, but it's really bite-sized work instructions delivered on any device with audit trails. So if you can see, we have people like Siemens, they just won an award. They deployed to 4,000, not wind turbines, sites with the wind turbines. You know, of course, all the pharmaceutical companies, people in the food and beverage industry for PEM, for pathogen environmental monitoring, all of those types of things. So that's the company, and so today we're going to talk about you know, execution, and then the final thing we're going to talk about is introducing a new product called KPI 360. Why? If you go to the next slide, as I go around the world, actually I was just with a customer a few minutes ago. I think some of the folks may be here in the room, some were remote, and the customer, basically the CEO is asking for, give me KPI dashboards, give me KPI dashboards, more than just the Power BI. And so it really is, I would say, middle managers, right, and chief digital officers, got to report to the CEO, got to manage all of the different plants, but how do you make a scalable platform, right? You can have a science project in one plant, but how do you move it across a fleet of plants? So, you know, the topic, you know, it's advanced industrial analytics. LNS is kind of, it's a research firm. They're kind of, you know, terming it advanced industrial analytics. It's a hot topic today in terms of that. We actually had a very large webinar actually this week, so I just took some screenshots from it. I did participate in it, and it was kind of interesting. This is what the audience was saying, right? Do you have data analytics, advanced analytics, those types of things, and what are they saying, right? We've had it. We're just getting started. We want to get started type of thing, right? So it's always a bell-shaped curve, and in fact, what are the blockers? Why haven't you done it before? And you know all the blockers, right? It's data, right? And silos of data and all of those types of things. And it's our job as a platform provider to actually solve some of those problems. As I go around the world, I see these things all the time. I either see the whiteboard and, you know, what are the KPIs and for the daily stands up, sorry, or I see these types of things. So, and what really just hit me as I've talked to a lot of customers that, you know, I hired Wipro, I hired someone to make a dashboard, it's always looking at yesterday's data, right? It's always looking at yesterday's data. And so how do I go, you know, to, you know, kind of move forward, and how do I look forward? How does that dashboard tell me what to do before bad things happen, right? And so if you can go forward, and so, what's the genesis of all this, right? And so obviously you saw we're a mature company with a lot of stuff, and I just want to take you through it. First of all, in terms of connecting to data, we're really good at it. This happens to be one of our customers. This is public information. I'm not telling any Seagate secrets, but you can see we're connected to 2,000 tools. We really know how to pull data from tools, and you can imagine in the semiconductor industry, there's a lot of strange tools, right? It's not off-the-shelf type of stuff, and you can see 25 billion data points a day. And then if you go forward, when we move from just vibration to large machine, critical machine, multivariate analysis, you can call it AI, you can call it what you want, but basically, how do you move to prediction and prescription? So basically, you have to pull data from all the data sources. Of course, I would say that things like Pi are in many of your companies, those types of things, but there's many other data sources, right? It's time series data and vibration data and video and those types of things. In the center, you can see that we actually, in AI, although we write some ML, there's great libraries for it. There's no question about it. That's not our value add. Our value add is really the domain explainers, right? So we use failure modes, we use physics, we use first principles, those types of things. And I always say, what we're doing is giving alerts and recommendations with enough time for that person to do something about them, right? In everything that we do. So if you move forward, I won't get into detail, but you can see we've really curated a very modern, very microservices-based, very containerized type of platform. And the bottom is the data and how do you connect all the data, the analysis. And as I mentioned to you on all the analysis, it really is the domain explainers that are really important. And then on top, we build apps on top. How does it work? We were lucky. We started in this multivariate analysis world about 4 years ago. Right? And I like to say we skipped from 2010 to 2020. We skipped that phase, right? We were more just vibration condition monitoring people. And when we went into it, of course, we hired people from all over the industry, and they said, okay, now we're going to get it right, right? So we're not going to do pattern recognition. We're going to use third generation AI. So we train models on just what's normal operating condition. We then generate, what are the behaviors outside of normal on the bottom left there, and then we move it into really the engineering world, right? So we move data science and combine it with the engineering world, in terms of failure modes, in terms of physics and first principles, and we're really good at severity scoring and those types of things. So at the end of the day, the next point is, what should I do about it? So we always, contributing factors, causes, recommendations. Contributing factors, causes, recommendations. Explainable and drill down becomes very important. So if you look at our physics engine as an example, I think many of you have perhaps, especially if you're in, let's say, the chemical industry. Sorry, I'll go back. Let me go back just one second. In terms of how we connect the AI with physics. And so whether it's property packages or fluids, those types of things, if you look at, let's say it's a motor and you're looking at things, polytrophic efficiencies, those types of things, heat exchangers, all of those things. So we connect all of that stuff together and that it's explainable and drill downable. So that's where we are, and again, that was the genesis of KPI 360. I do want to just play, it's a short soundbite, it's about a minute and a half from one of our customers, Logan Aluminum. I think Logan will tell the story quite well, so I don't even need to explain it, but it'll just really kind of be the precursor to what we're doing with KPI.
When did you and why did you decide to make this journey?
We decided to make this journey at Logan Aluminum. We was challenged by our plant manager. Is there any AI systems for to cover our machines for machine learning? And at that time, Symphony was the only one that I'd heard of that was dabbling in it or something. And so I reached out to y'all, and come to find out, y'all hadn't even put one in on a hot mill, a steel mill, paper mill. So really for us, it was a big leap of faith. And, will this thing really work? Will we get a return on our investment? But at that point, I'd been working with Symphony or Azima at that time for about 13 years. So I had a level of knowledge and a trust with them. So we took we tried it. We were like, all right, let's start out at our hot mill. And so we're going to see what it'll do here. We put it in with y'all's, of course, with y'all's help. This thing, we got a return on our investment in 4 months. It was unreal, and it was many times over return. It was a huge return for us. So that's why right now we're putting in our 5th system, because every time we put one in, it pays for itself. And so when you take that to upper management, they like, we're just keep going. Let's put it in all machines. Let's move. Let's roll with it. So that's where our journey started. It was just a leap of faith, and hey, this thing works. One thing that we really push is data-driven decision making, and because more data, we can make better decisions. And I love the PDM technologies. That's where my passion lies. And this AI system just falls right into that. I mean, it actually gives us a bigger picture. We're more rounded. Instead of looking at vibration on a drivetrain, now I can look at the current, I can look at the alloy, I can look at the speeds, the temperatures, the amperage. I mean, it brings everything in perspective. So it's really been exciting for us to work with this.
There you go.
Great.
So the other folks, NRG was there. So if anyone's in Texas, we did the same thing with them. Nippon Gas is in Belgium, all of those types of things. So, but the point was that we got to that point as a company in our evolution. And what we're doing is magic, right? We're providing all of these, you better take a shutdown now. And they say, no, we better take a shutdown. They say, thank you, right? So we do all of that. But in a sense, I like to say we were driving a 1-inch hole 30 miles deep, right? We were giving one alert at a time. Well, there's so much more information that we can harness in the companies that we're working with, and so that really gave us the idea of why don't we build a predictive KPI, and it's just really broadening what we're already doing. So, and so really kind of the notion of a plant floor to the top floor, right? The shop floor to the top floor. It's the same data, but the view of it, right? So a heat rate calculation, I may be interested in that, but the CEO is not. Right? The CEO's, how much power am I generating? How much money can I make from it? Those types of things. And one of the things that we've done is build hundreds and hundreds of calculations, right? And all of these calculations that we've built from our engineering know-how and how do you make derived calculations. So that really brought us to here, which is, and so I'm just going to give just a short 3-minute video, which will best describe what we're doing with KPI 360. So Anderson, if you can go.
Data is disrupting entire markets today more than ever before, and organizations of all sizes around the world are adopting a data-driven culture to avoid falling behind their peers. SymphonyAI's new product, KPI 360, is specifically designed to help organizations transform themselves into data-driven businesses that function more seamlessly and efficiently. With real-time KPI monitoring, as well as predictive KPIs using the latest AI and physics-based digital twins, KPI 360 can help you achieve an automated, transparent, and trustworthy process of reporting and decision-making from the shop floor to the top floor. Critical challenges such as data connections, data integrity, contextualization, varying data formats, and timescales are all taken care of by KPI 360's tried and tested connect and transform layers. Next, analysis is performed on the data by calculating KPIs and their relationships between other KPIs in your company. Some KPIs are calculated with simple expressions, but others require complex calculations that involve the physics of a process or the thermodynamics associated with processes such as combustion, heat transfer, fluid compression, etc. KPI 360's built-in physics engine is leveraged to achieve this without the need for explicit definition of complicated mathematical expressions. In addition, KPI 360 comes with hundreds of pre-built KPI calculations that can be enabled with just a few clicks. If you'd like to bring your own KPIs, you can do that too with the help of a no-code KPI workbench. Let's look at an example dashboard for a power plant. Here we see a dashboard that has KPIs that are interconnected right from the asset level all the way up to the financials such as profit, revenue, and operating costs. KPIs are represented as cards that show the value of the KPI, recent trend, and even change color if any alert rule is triggered on them. Clicking on the KPI card opens a panel where users can see any number of different visualizations for that KPI as well as AI-generated insights and details of all the alerts that are triggered on the KPI. And with just a click of a button, users can see how KPIs are contributing to the performance of each other through a drilling down or rolling up mechanism. This entire dashboard was built using a drag and drop, no-code user interface, and users of KPI 360 can create unlimited dashboards and share them across their organization. The definitions of the KPIs were also created using a no-code interface that lets organizations manage their own KPIs and take control of their transformation into truly data-driven businesses.
As a CEO that's on your back saying, where's my dashboard? During March, we're putting our teams on site. We work with our customers. We actually have a team right now at a pharmaceutical company. And really kind of what are the important KPIs? What are the sources of data? Is it electronic? Is it manual? And what to go forward? So if you're interested in that, we'd love to hear from you on that.